Hello again, whiskey friends. My name's Jeff.
I'm Darrell.
So today we are going to be drinking something that we hadn't heard before this. Mary Dowling Wheated Bourbon Double Oaked Barrel. And this is a sample brought to us by our good whiskey friend, Doug. So thank you, Doug.
Appreciate you, Doug. Jeff said neither one of us heard of this. Going in here completely blind in a sense, right? We know the name of it, but don't know what to expect whatsoever.
So I'll pull something up here. Given that we don't have the bottle, we can at least pull up the website so everyone can kind of see what we're talking about. So here's the website here. So it's the Mary Dowling Double Oaked Barrel Wheated Bourbon. And one thing that Darrell and I were talking about right before this, love to hear some thoughts in the comments. Wheated bourbon that has been double oaked. I'm having problems coming up with another example of a wheated bourbon that was double oaked. So curious if anyone knows of one. As it goes on here, it's got a little bit of a story about what's behind the name. Just sounds like it's the wife of someone who used to do barrel craftsmanship. So they're kind of just taking that part of bourbon lore and finding a name with some history on it. And then it talks about being double oaked. I'm going to go down a little bit. Mash bill on this was 65% corn, 25% wheat, 10% malted barley. That does look like Rabbit Hole's wheated bourbon. And it's also the brand itself is partially owned by Rabbit Hole's owner. So speculation on our part, we don't have any confirmation of this, but it does sound like this could be a Rabbit Hole double oaked product. I'm going to avoid the tasting notes here as much as I can. But what's important is it was aged 4+ years. So it sounds like a blend with the youngest being 4 years old. And then it looks like the first barrel was a heavy char, so a number 4 char. And then the second barrel was a number 1 char and a heavy toast. So it says double oaked, but it might be more toasted than necessarily a darker double oak. And the only other thing that we were able to learn off of this was the price, which was about $130. Now, that might sound expensive, but it's kind of on par with a lot of Rabbit Hole's single barrels, because a lot of their single barrels that I saw in Northern Kentucky were usually about 100, 150 even. For some reason, they're always asking for a high price for some seemingly young whiskey.
Still curious on how this is, 4+ years at $130. I hope it's good.
All right. Well, let's get into the nose, and then we'll be scoring this thing behind the scenes and bringing some overall ratings by the end of this.
Not mad off the first sniff.
I agree with that. It's pretty inviting.
I was worried I was going to get like that traditional, like overly toasted, like young note that I get, like that sawdust stuff, and I'm not getting that whatsoever on the nose, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, the toast actually complements this one. I think usually when I have an issue with toasted cast, though, it's like toasting old whiskeys that seems to de-age it. But given that this one's 4 years, maybe it's still a better combination there.
Definitely get some oak presence. It's sweet. It's conventional. Like I wouldn't imagine this was like finished, like toasted, I guess is finished, right? But like it's just that conventional bourbon, nice oak richness. It's dark.
I saw the word tobacco when we were scrolling there, not to put that seed in my head, but I do get some like tobacco leaf, like fresh tobacco leaf.
Well, I'm going to go in for a taste, man. I like this nose, man. This nose is nice. It's not quite what I was expecting. Not bad. I do get a little bit of the youth, I think, on the palate, but it's not off-putting. Like, it's first sip was good. 130 is a stretch for me, thinking of price, just off that first sip, but it's not bad whiskey.
I keep getting distracted by like a mint or a menthol type of a note, which is continuously throwing me off. It's right there next to a bright vanilla too, mid palate to the finish. I'm having problems concentrating on anything else. I'm getting quite a bit of like it's not a toasted marshmallow for me. It's more of a burned meringue.
Yeah, I think the nose may be the best part of this whiskey for me. Has some nice depth. Like I said, I think the nose shines. Like there's some depth there. The flavors are all present, but it elevates you thinking at the palate. is going to kind of like fall suit. And I think it just falls short of the experience of the nose.
It does have a decently long finish on it. It's mostly just the double oak properties that continue to carry through, but they've been lingering for quite a bit. Well, we scored this behind the scenes here, and we're ready to go over our overall score. So, Darrell, where'd you land on this one?
I got it at a 77. Was hoping from the nose that I was going to score a little higher than that, but I think just the palate just falls a little bit short for me. Not bad whiskey. Just wish that maybe it was a maybe $60 bottle, $70 bottle max, versus the 130 that they're asking. Because it's not bad whiskey, just the expectations are set kind of high with that price point, and I don't think it meets that for me personally. What about you?
Same exact spot. A 77 overall. The flavors just don't do it for me. The nose was my favorite part of it. I did give it an all right experience score because it's got a nice mouthfeel. It's got a nice finish in terms of the length. So technically it's doing good things, but when it comes to the flavors themselves, I'm not digging it. So then that took down the value too. I just, as you said, I actually wrote down the same number. We always ask each other, what would we be willing to pay for this? And I wrote down 60.
Yeah, I was at $60 too. Same exact, which is funny. Yeah, like it's good, but it's not 130 good, guys.
Yeah. So fun to explore something new. Thanks again, Doug, for the sample. If you've tried this, let us know what you think of it in the comments. What you think of Rabbit Hole too. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Appreciate you.
Bye, everybody.